Morning, nice to see you. Yes, I'm talking to you, chums. You all right? Absolutely, we'll have a lovely wave. Nice to have your company. And thank you as ever for joining me. You know, a couple of years back now, there was that terrible story, wasn't there, just around the book launches of people and stuff, about who were the royal racists. And, you know, it was a terrible situation because, quite frankly, both Harry and Meghan could have shut down that story. And when you think about it, and think about this very clearly, all this was circling around on the last few months of our great monarch Queen Elizabeth's lives. That's how much they had empathy, love and all that sort of stuff. You get the picture. But it's fascinating when, as I say, you often look back here on the show because, as many people know, I've been lucky enough to meet many various individuals and they give a totally different perspective. So I wanted to share this particular story with you because I think it's important to get this over as to just exactly how their argument, Harry and Meghan and the ridiculous other journalists that claim they were royal racists, simply falls apart. Let me explain. Hi, nice to see you. So listen, way back, I mean, this is fabulous really because, as I said, many people don't realise, as you know, in another job, I've been lucky enough to meet so many great people, including this man, Sir Norman Wisdom, a brilliant comedian, songwriter, actor, could do everything really, and was Britain's biggest star at the box office way back in the middle 50s, all thanks to those wonderful films like Trouble in Store. Norman became a personal family friend and was just lovely. He was just one of the nicest people, you know, full of life, couldn't necessarily contain him, but and always just loved to watch his own films. Yes, very Norma Desmond. Nothing wrong with that though, but a lovely, lovely man. And he basically counteracts this particular claim, this ridiculous story that has gone on now for so long. You see, way back in 1952, this glamorous lady was asked to appear at the Royal Variety Performance. It was an important one at the London Palladium, as one can imagine, a difficult year naturally for the brand new Queen Elizabeth. Now, alongside her, the Duke of Edinburgh were in attendance, and there was wonderful sort of, how shall we put it, just a sparkling show trying to cheer, of course, the new monarch up, because let's not forget, she'd lost her father and things were not looking great. Now, what was fascinating about this was the fact that who was on the bill? Well, this lady, the very gorgeous and glamorous Winifred Atwell. Now, Winifred Atwell was a very, very clever lady, let me tell you. The very first lady of colour to score a UK #1 and sell over 1 million copies for an instrumental record. Can you think? I mean, that is what an achievement, right? Way back then. And this literally put her on the map. And not only was she very talented, she played what they call honky-tonk piano, but actually she was classically trained. So she really understood the keyboard, became great friends in later life with none other than another keyboard king, Liberace. Now, Norman was on the same bill and he told me this wonderful story about Winifred Atwell. He basically said that she couldn't believe she'd been asked to appear and it all gone very well and all of that sort of stuff, but she was obviously, rightly so, very nervous. But a thunderous applause put her nerves to one side. One of the big stars of the show that year was none other than the Duke of Edinburgh's favourite, Tony Hancock. And Sir Norman told me that they were very concerned about Tony because he kept downing big glasses of brandy in the shared dressing room, but nonetheless pulled off a wonderful performance, yes. But back to Winifred Atwell. Well, what was fascinating here was that then, all thanks to that wonderful performance, Her Majesty the Queen invited Winifred alongside Norman to a very special evening to entertain at Windsor Castle. And this was the first of many. So much so they became good chums. And according to Norman, the reason why she really liked her was not only was she great fun and a giggling sort of lady, very, very religious and all that sort of stuff, but they got on so many levels. Apparently the Queen couldn't get over the fact that, Winifred could turn to the audience but carry on playing the piano. Apparently the Queen said, myself and Margaret, we just intently have to look at the keys. We can't, how do you do it, Anyway, after one concert at Windsor Castle, the first concert according to Norman, it went so well that the Queen personally asked her to come back. She'd finished her set and said, no, would you play Roll Out the Barrel? So everybody stood round the piano with Winifred Atwell, the Queen, Princess Margaret, the Queen Mother, everybody singing Roll Out the Barrel. This, as I say, resulted in a great friendship that lasted many years, and she appeared in future Royal Variety performances. Not only that, the Queen very kindly would direct certain staff members that she had obviously in her employ, ladies of colour, who would go to Winifred's brand new salon for coloured ladies in South London. She was, very forward thinking. And Winifred used to send letters and they became back and forth. Thank you for recommending that. The ladies loved it, of course. And that's where a true friendship developed. Now, what's also fascinating when you think about this is, the very young Prince Charles was also given a toy piano from Winifred, and they became chums too. I throw this out there, people say, oh, the royal family are racist. If they're so racist, how come? Well, now King, His Majesty the King Charles, was such a, huge supporter of this brilliant trio of beautiful ladies, the Three Degrees. Apparently he liked the Three Degrees quite a lot, let me tell you. So when you look at these stories and you hear them firsthand from people, and apparently Norman said to me, he turned round with Winifred and the Queen was just sat there and they were just chatting away about the perils of travelling around with her piano. She had two pianos and one was called the other piano, and she used to have it shipped everywhere. And the Queen said, well, how do you're not worried about if it turns up and it suddenly doesn't work? And she said, oh no, I know how to tune it. And so they were discussing the merits of self-tuning. You just come away thinking, what a nice lady Winifred Atwell was. And clearly, what a very welcoming and well-balanced Queen we had in Queen Elizabeth. What a nasty thing to say about a woman who clearly had no prejudices whatsoever. And there is your proof. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.